Well, good morning, adventurers, and welcome back to my channel. We are about to head out to the destination unknown of I'm not exactly sure where we're going, but it's going to be fun to get there, so buckle up because Dad and I are going on a trip. Okay, we have stopped off for the first time. We were getting some gas, and this is only about, I want to say 40 minutes away from my base camp, but this is where we typically stop off when we come through this area. The gas is not expensive. It is $2.55 a gallon right now, which is not bad. So I'll let you guys know how much it costs to fill up the tank. We were kind of low because I couldn't get enough gas the other day. The pump was super slow, so that was super fun. I think we're also going to go inside and get a drink and a snack because I need something because I don't look awake yet. Kind of the nature of the beast. I've been real busy lately between all of the activities that I've been doing here in Texas and then being on the road and just going. I'm pretty sure I haven't had just a chill time in a bit, even though I've had a lot of fun. So yeah, off to our next adventure, and according to the map it's 6 hours and 52 minutes away from base camp, but in all reality it's going to take us a bit longer because we like to kind of take our time and stop when we see something cool. So what will we find? I don't know. Okay, for snacks today I'm trying out two different ones that I've never had before. This one is a blueberry pancake with sausage inside, and the other one is a potato taquito, which is brand new. So, a little sweet. Pretty good. Oh, looks like we have found some construction. There's always some construction as we drive. This one has one of the lanes completely closed. No big deal. Oh my goodness, we have finally gotten to the place that I've been trying to come for like 6 times now, and it looks like they're actually open. This is gonna be fun. So since it's open, I'm gonna go inside and I'll show you some of the things that are here. I'm very excited because, again, I've tried again to come here, and finally it's open. Now around the museum, there's lots of different information. This one was really cool. This is a guy who's from this area, and he actually has gone on to work in Hollywood. You'll find that this area is actually filled with a lot of talented people. This one is very unique. This guy has worked on several movies. He has worked on CSI, and he has worked in a lot of different other productions, winning several Emmys. So that is pretty neat. In addition to several different historic halls that talk about the tribal history in this area, which is so fascinating, you can also find different maps and different attire that would have been worn. But this caught my eye. These are 5 different pieces that have all been sketched, symbolizing the 5 civilized tribes. These are all pencil and ink drawings, and they are created by an inmate at the minimum security prison located in Atoka. Now, I just mentioned that there are several very infamous people from this area. One of the most noted is Reba McEntire. Reba McEntire is from this region. There's actually a restaurant in this area that at some point we'll go to, but there is a very cute little display in here with Reba, and it has some photos from her like earlier days, but also, well, let me just show you. You can see here they have her family depicted through some of their family photos, telling you a little bit more about their family history here. Also, along these shelves, you'll find some artifacts from her earlier days, including some of the early albums and pieces. But then I saw this little doll back here. Do you see the Reba doll? I had no idea this existed. They also have the cap and gown that was worn to perform Is There Life Out There? And then that video went on to receive Music Video of the Year. They have in here Clark McIntyre's bag phone. This was introduced originally in 1988. And so you can see that this was the original one. There's an Oklahoma sticker on it and everything. And here is a painting that was actually done by a 14-year-old Reba McEntire. And the teacher went on to say that he taught her once, and he was really proud about that. And this is actually quite good. So 14-year-old Reba was also very talented. And of course, here is an artist rendition of what Reba looks like with that signature red hair. So this is just a small display. There's a few other things here. Definitely stop in. But that's just the beginning. This is a small but mighty museum. There's lots of great things here. I'm just kind of giving an overview today, but definitely if you come through Atoka, check this one out. You will not be disappointed. Look at all of this cool stuff that they have in here. Everything from setups where you can learn about the schools in the area with some of the artifacts to a few other things. They have doctor's equipment, they have styles of the times. It looks like back here there might even be like a church with a stained glass. I also learned that there was an infamous Stringtown shootout, which Stringtown is just a little bit of distance away, with Clyde Barrow. You also might know him as Bonnie and Clyde. Yeah, he pulled up, and this entire case is just kind of telling us a little bit more about him. Basically, he pulled up in 1932 at an open-air dance, and then he got approached by the cops, and he went off. And whenever he did, he injured the sheriff and killed one of the deputies. So this is just a little piece of that story. And one of the other things I really enjoy about this particular museum is they do have all of these older things like the post office, or over here they have a pane of glass that was dedicated to the original lady who founded basically this region because her family owned this area before it became what we know it to be today. And so through each one of these displays there's a personal touch that brings it back. But then over here it also kind of gives you a challenge so that you can see how this used to work versus how it goes now. So used to, you wouldn't have a key that you would put in, you'd have a combo. And so you can go over here to box 2 and you can turn it 6.5 to the right and 4.5 to the left. And then inside, you find a little bit of mail. First, there's a little bit about the Woodmen of the World and the Masonic Temple. And here you can find some of the artifacts from this local area, including their voting box where they would use the marbles. Dad just pointed that one out to me and I thought that was really neat. But they also have some of the Knights of the Templar group, some of their photos from the Atoka Easter in 1915 right here. And you can see those. As we walk around, it has a little extra section that's called the 1930s, and you can see what a 1930s kitchen would have looked like, but it also reminds us through this sign up here that this was a time when people would use up every bit. There was no waste. They would consume what they had because it might be harder to get those things. But you can see some of the items like these boxes and tins on the top, familiar brands that just look a little bit different than they do today. For example, Folgers up here. Folgers was once in a tin can. Now you find it in a plastic container. Same thing with the Hershey's. Same thing with some of these other brands as well. There is a plaque here for the Oklahoma quilt heritage, and you can find some of the items that they might have used, like the needle book and some of the thread, but also some of these really fine pieces. And then as we kind of look a little bit closer, we see that there is a Civil War era quilt, this one off to the left-hand side here. Now this section here is all about the war history and the people who are from this region who have fought. There are several different artifacts in here. This one was one of the most interesting. When you read the descriptor that goes along with it, it says that this particular man, his name was William Malone, and he was headquartered with the 66th Armored Regiment. He was wearing these on the day of 1942. He was struck by lightning. And after that, despite being pronounced on 4 different occasions, he not only went on to make a full recovery, but he survived every single one of the injuries with no incident. And then he returned here where he and his family continued life and were active in the community. I think that that is a wild story, but that is just one of many that are here. You can also find artifacts from various engagements, various styles of combat. There is a ration book here that you can learn a little bit more about how rations worked during the time of war. You can also find out more about war bonds and how they worked out. Additionally, there are some pieces from other sides of the engagement here, so you can learn a bit more about them and how they differed from the American pieces. And one of the things I found pretty interesting as a person who travels on the road is this shower right here. It's just a bucket where the water comes through and comes out a spout, but I haven't seen anybody in van life using something like this. They all use a bag system. The bucket would be much more efficient, but I can only imagine it's much more heavy, so that was interesting. There's all of these fun cameras, which I am personally just like really drawn to because they're different styles. One of these days, I really want to play with some actual film as opposed to just digital, but these are so cool. Now again, I'm just kind of touching a few of the things here because there's a lot of really cool information, small but mighty, definitely. But the one that I want to show you kind of on the way out is something that goes along with another video, which I'm going to be sharing here on the channel. I had gone to Hugo, Oklahoma, which is the final resting place of several different high-profile rodeo people. Amongst those, Lane Frost. If you're not aware of who Lane Frost is, he was a cowboy who went above and beyond riding bulls and ended up perishing as a result of one of those rides. And he has gone down in rodeo history for many, many years. There has been a movie that is made about his life. It's called 8 Seconds, and it's a very good movie, so definitely go check it out. But there's a display right here in Atoka about Lane Frost. He was the 1987 World Champion Bull Rider, and here you can find many of the photos of him riding. There are some pictures of him with friends on covers of rodeo magazines, and also they have some of his personal items in here. This is a fascinating stop, especially if you are one who enjoys rodeo history. Well, we learned a few things. First and foremost, we learned that about 15 minutes from Atoka, there is a state park where they actually had an altercation in the Civil War. And we know that there's a little bit more history here because this property actually has a cemetery kind of out back where there are some Civil War era graves. This is also a part of the Butterfield Stage, which is a way that they would be able to transport things in these stagecoaches, and that runs all the way down to Texas, down by where I'm from. We also picked up these things so we can have some future adventures I'm very excited about. And with that, there's some art right here that also kind of goes over some of the history. So famous faces, interesting history, cool extra stuff, a good stretch break, and we're back on the road. We decided we were going to take a stop. We are in McAllister and we found a store that looked real familiar, so we're going to stop off and see what they have. Do we need anything? Not off the top of our head, but you never know, and this gives us another stretch break. It's really good to break up the drive whenever we're driving on these longer days, and so this is a great way for us to do it. So let's go to Ollie. Oh, this is interesting. I don't think I've ever seen this game before.
Oh, I have.
You have?
Yeah, I have.
Huh.
Take the bridge.
Falls. Cool. Found some cool stuff that we're going to be adding to our Christmas display for next year. And oh my goodness, my tire is missing some air. I don't know what's happened. If we've run over something, I don't know. So Dad's going to help me out here. We're going to put some air in the tire. How low were we, Dad?
38.
38. So that's not super low.
6 pounds low.
6 pounds is not terrible, but at the same time, 6 pounds is enough to make it look real bad. We came out, and because the tire was kind of tilted, I thought, oh, well, maybe it's just because it's tilted. And I always do this thing just every single day because, as many of you know, if you followed my channel for a while, my tire pressure sensor got messed up whenever I had my tires changed out. So I just kind of check my tires anyway. Yeah, that's one of those things that whenever I check it, I do two things. I, number one, look at it and kick the tire just to see how much bounce it has. The other thing I do is I have an actual gauge that I check it with. Checked it a couple days ago. It was fine. I haven't really driven, so I was like, okay, it's fine. But clearly it is a little bit low now. So, okay, back in we go and back on the road. Okay, we're about to be going over the Arkansas River. And I think we're gonna stop and get some gas in Sallisaw. And Dad said he has a place that he wants to go eat, which is a place we've been before. We really like it. We've been there a couple times. The food is good. It's a little diner. It's like a greasy spoon. It's delightful. So after we get to Sallisaw, we're gonna go on to that, which is right across from Fort Smith. And they have added some signs along this road that now say there are bears. Okay, got gas, 21.71, and now we are going to go and find the cafe that we're going to go to. Dad's getting back in. I'm trying to find my stuff in my bag. It is chilly, to say the least. So, yeah, next stop, cafe. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Wow, the skillet is huge. It's just huge, and Dad has the breakfast version of that. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm in a little bit of a food coma. I have leftovers. Dad, what'd you think?
Good.
It's always pretty good. At the same time, the plates are large. My plate was big enough for 2 meals, so the rest of it's in the fridge. Okay, we finally made it to Branson. We're both really tired. My eyes are so dry. The last hour of driving has just kind of been on the windy mountain roads of Arkansas, but we made it. We are doing this kind of a little willy-nilly. We didn't book anything, so we're here before the weekend. We're going to check into a hotel we stayed at before, possibly. We're going to make sure they have a space. So we're looking at the Rosebud. The goal is to find out if they have accommodations, not just for tonight, but maybe for more. And so we're going to go find out. But yes, we finally made it. Well, guys, you can see it. We're at the Rosebud, and this is where this video is going to end. We made it. Today has been a very busy day. I just put some eye drops in because my eyes are so dry, but now it is time for us to rest. So my dad and I have split a hotel room here for the weekend, and we're going to get into some interesting things. Again, if you are watching my channel right now and it is past Christmas, you have already seen a couple of those adventures, but also there's going to be plenty more, so buckle up, Buttercup, because here we go. Remember, we're not here for a long time, but we are here for a good time. I'm about to go to bed. I am super tired. It has been a long and productive day. However, tomorrow we're going to hit the ground running, and I'm ready for it. Till next time, bye!